Welcome to GetChemistryHelp.com. My name is Dr. Kent. This is going to be a really brief lesson on chemical formulas. Now, a chemical formula is basically a shorthand way of expressing the types of atoms and the number of atoms that are present in a substance. So, for example, one chemical formula you've probably heard of is H2O. So that's the chemical formula for water. Another one you might have heard of is carbon dioxide is CO2. So these are just shorthand ways that express the type and the number of atoms. Okay, so here's another one. So H2SO4 is sulfuric acid. So why don't we just take a second and break this down and try to decipher exactly what this is telling me. Okay, well H, that's telling me that's the symbol for hydrogen. So there's hydrogen. How many hydrogens? Well, the subscript after the hydrogen tells me there are 2 hydrogens present. How about S? Well, S is the symbol for the element sulfur. Now notice there isn't a subscript here. So if there isn't a subscript, we just assume that means there's only one. O, that's the symbol for oxygen, and the subscript is 4. So there must be 4 oxygens. So sulfuric acid is composed of 2 hydrogen atoms, 1 sulfur atom, and 4 oxygen atoms. Well, how about water? Well, water must be 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen. Carbon dioxide must be 1 carbon and 2 oxygens. Now, sometimes in a chemical formula, it's useful to use parentheses so we can clarify what's going on with the actual structure or the composition. So, for example, this molecule here is TNT, which is a very famous explosive I'm sure you've heard of. So, TNT is C7H5 parenthesis NO2 parenthesis 3. So these parentheses are trying to set off this NO2 group as being separate. And the subscript outside tells me, well, there are 3 of the NO2 groups. So the subscript basically multiplies whatever is inside the parentheses. So in our case, let's see, how many carbons do we have? We have 7 carbons. We have 5 hydrogens right here. Then we have these NO2 groups, we have 3. Well, how many nitrogens are there? Well, we multiply by 3 whatever is inside. So we have 3 nitrogens. How many oxygens are there? Well, again, we multiply by 3. So 2 times 3. There must be 6 oxygens. So there you go. TNT has 7 carbons, 5 hydrogens, 3 times 1, 3 nitrogens, 3 times 2, 6 oxygens. Okay, so let's wrap it up with a few examples. The first one says Mg3 parenthesis PO4 parenthesis 2. And the way we would commonly say that, by the way, is Mg3 PO4 taken twice. So we'd say taken for whatever was in parentheses. So Mg3 PO4 taken twice because of the 2 here. Okay, so this one has magnesium, that's Mg, has phosphorus, that's P, and it has oxygen, that's the O. Well, how many magnesiums do we have? In this case, there's 3 magnesiums. How many phosphorus do we have? Well, there's 1 in every PO4 group, and there's 2 of those groups. So we would have 2 phosphorus. How about oxygen? Well, there's 4 in every PO4 group, and there's 2 of those. So 2 times 4, we would have 8. So in terms of total atoms, we would have 3 plus 2 plus 8. We'd have 13 total atoms in the structure for Mg3 PO4 taken twice. Okay, how about the next one? C2H4 OH taken twice. So we got carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen I see present. How many carbons? Well, 2. How many hydrogens? Okay, this one's a little sneaky because there's 4 hydrogens here, but there's more hydrogens in the parentheses. So there's 1 in the parentheses, but there are 2 of these groups. So 2 times 1 would give me 2 more. So a total of 6 hydrogens. How about oxygen? Well, there's 1 inside the parenthesis times 2. So 2 total oxygens. So this would have 10 total atoms are in C2H4OH taken twice. Okay, last one. Al2S2O3 taken 3 times. Al2S2O3 taken 3 times. So we got Al, that's aluminum. We got sulfur, that's S. And we got O, that's oxygen. So how many aluminums? Well, 2. How many sulfurs? Well, there's 2, but again, it's inside parentheses, so we multiply that by the number outside. So the subscript 3 times this subscript 2 gives me 6 sulfurs. How about oxygens? Well, there's a subscript 3, multiply it by this subscript 3, so that gives me 9 oxygens. So we'd have a total of 17 atoms in this compound. Well, I hope you enjoyed this brief lesson. Be sure to click on the subscribe button so you can be notified as soon as new videos are posted. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.